All right. One thing about me, I'm always going to be honest. Now, when I made the video on the Arturia Microlab versus the Akai MPK Mini 4, I had to take a look back prayerfully and think about it. And I realized that opinion comes from a biased place. See, I use Akai MPCs. I've been seeing them my whole life. Although I might have been one of the first people to start on a DAW with Magic's Music Maker. And that got me on digital audio workstations and all that stuff. But after 6 months of use, I must declare, with no bias now, that the Arturia Microlab succeeds further than the Akai MPK Mini 4. You say, how is that possible? Well, I'm going to tell you how it's possible. See, the Akai, they made that product possibly projecting things in the future that they're going to add, and it just doesn't add up to other programs unless you're using a lot of Akai products or using the digital audio workstations that Akai is fluid with. So in that regards, the studio instrument that comes with it is awesome. But in the way that I was using it, it probably isn't like how everyone else in the community will use it. Like, I was making beats straight up with it. You can look at Bolo Da Producer. Really dope dude, straight up guy, honest and humble. I know that for a fact. I've heard, especially from people I know. And I'll have them linked in the description. He has one where he just builds a beat with a studio instrument. And really, that's what I was doing. And that's all good, but we're talking about software. We're not talking about the hardware. The Arturia does all those things and can be done with that software just as well. But here's why I say I like it better. Now, if all those buttons did what they were supposed to do, because you could see how I made that mistake and had two frequencies going off pressing one. That's what I'm saying. Unless you're using all Akai equipment or the proper audio interfaces, mostly universal audio stuff, like the Apollo and such, for your DAW, it doesn't do as much. It's not as user-friendly as the Arturia. And if you'll notice, people that are just doing their little iPad workstations, man, they're starting to switch to that Arturia. So I'm going to test out more of their equipment because I was a huge Akai person, and I still am. I have the Akai sample on the way. I'll be doing a video on that, but this is an apology video because I make videos for the youth and the seasoned. But I want to go all analog. That's my goal. But saying that, that product comes at a better price point, doesn't niche you in a corner and force you to go one way. All sorts of music can be made with it. And my next video coming out probably about the same time as this one will show you how I start to develop a song. And most of that's hip hop. And back in my day, we had things called raves. I'm 44 years old, guys. 44, right? Well, that's where it all went down. Well, guess what? They didn't have nothing but y'all. Yeah, and I know what you're thinking. All the dubstep stuff that you hear right now. But it wasn't like that. People were on turntables with vinyl. Lights, we didn't know what RGB was. They were just playing some lights. It didn't go with the music or anything like that. People were playing with glow sticks, and we know what else they was doing. But I say all that to say this. That was real stuff. So I come from a day where, music was made. And then there was something you don't really hear about much called jungle music. This was where hip-hop met electronic music. It happened right around Y2K, which was something else all in itself. But you can look all that I set up, but I just say all that to just apologize because I do believe the Arturia Microlab for $60, $69, depending on where you get it from. And listen, the reason I'm doing this is because, and I will post a link in the description, I'm selling my Akai Mini MPK4 or whatever you call it. Now, if I'm going to sell it, I have to make this video and be transparent. because I answer someone above me. And that person only wants the truth. So I'm going to speak the truth with kindness and love. So kindly and love, I love Akai products. And that is where my bias went. And a lot of us have bias inside our hearts, souls, and minds. That's a whole nother thing. Whole nother topic, whole nother channel. But after much self-reflection, because that video gathered probably the most, I will gamble. Judges gamble. Sound effect, please. Add it. And the Microlab MPK, or the Arturia, better product for the average individual. Better product to start out with. Could be a product that if you just got and you were like using all this complicated stuff, because I get overwhelmed with all the stuff. Like, I just went through my whole studio, took it down, and I'm about to put it back up again. Man, just start there. Start there. Or take a reflection. If you're using one of those MIDI controllers with software, try it. Or try a bigger one, better one, if you know how to play keys better than I do. I'm sure you do. But I end all that with that say this. Professor, out. 1. Love y'all.